think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up? I am Supernova, and welcome to my Game of Thrones Season 1 review. This is going to be a full-on review of what I thought of the Season 1. I completed it, and before I get into this, I want to say spoilers. There will be spoilers in this, so if you haven't watched Game of Thrones Season 1, which I don't know why you haven't, but I can't say much because I just now got done with it. Well, I didn't just now, I got done with it a couple of days ago. But if you haven't, click away from the video, watch Season 1, come back to me. Easy enough. It's like 10 episodes long, an hour each episode, which sucks because I wish there was more episodes in the season because it didn't take me long to get through almost a whole season in one night. But that's neither here nor there. Welcome to my review. So pretty much I'm going to sum this whole review shit up when it comes to seasons. I've got my pros and I've got my cons. Now, the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to go into cons first, what I didn't like about the season, because I want to get that out of the way, the bad feelings out of the way. And then I'll go on to the pros, you know, the stuff that's good about it, what I loved about it. And then after I go through all this, I'll give my final verdict, then reach my review, and that will be the video. So let's start on with Game of Thrones, Season 1. Let's do this. Let's start with the cons of Season 1. Con number 1. Some of the characters I have cons with. For this season in particular. Now, this doesn't reflect through the whole season, but I mean the whole entire series of itself, but this is pretty much just some characters in this season I thought got little to no character development, or people I personally didn't like as characters. You know, you got people like Robb Stark. Let's start with him. Now, Robb Stark, he gets almost near to none character development until the end of the season, where he becomes where he wages war on Joffrey. Now, Robb Stark, I'm not going to give too much shit because yes, he didn't hardly get any character development whatsoever until around, you know, episode I'd say 9, which it's a little late, but still better than never. Let's go on. And the next person I got a problem with, let's go on. Next person I got a problem with is Theon Greyjoy, because I don't think Theon hardly gets any, if none, character development in this season for myself. He, in this season, did not really gain that much, hardly at all any character development. We hardly see him at all. We do go find out that he was adopted by Ned because, you know, his father had given him away because they lost a war against the Starks. And that's pretty much all we get on Theon. He's very shaky with his loyalty to the Starks. I mean, it is shaky sometimes. He does get in fights with Robb about what had happened, but for the most part, he gets none to no character development. He does get a little bit when he saves Bran, but we all know he was going to save Bran from them weird freaking, I don't know what to call them, burglars or freaking bandits or whatever. He does save Bran from that, and that goes on to my next character, Bran Stark. Once again, Bran hardly gets shit after Jaime pushes him out of the window, out of the opening, where he catches Jaime and the queen. I can't remember her name exactly. After he catches them doing the dirty, so we hardly get anything from Bran after that. Yeah, we got a couple of things where he can ride a horse again, but besides that, Bran hardly gets any character development, and he's a person I really didn't care about in this season. Next character, Jon Snow. Now, I know people are going to give me shit because a lot of people love Jon Snow. Jon Snow is not a bad character. I'm just saying in this season, he does get character development. Don't get me wrong, he does get character development, but it's still outshined by the people who do get character development this season. Jon is a bastard child. He goes to the Night's Watch. I mean, he goes to the Wall. I mean, Jon, he does get some character development with his relationship with Sam. And then we see him become a steward, and when he finds out Ned was killed, he does get character development. He's thrown into a situation where he has to decide, be a deserter or go join the war with Robb, which I think is good character development. But throughout the whole series as a whole, he does not hardly get any time to shine at all, if any. My next character, now this is just a personal grudge that I don't like her, and I do have my reasons. Sansa Stark. Now, Sansa, oh my goodness, this bitch. I understand she's trying to get redeemed, but from the beginning of the series, where she's taking up for Joffrey over her family, which we have found out in this series, family comes priority before anyone else. They're the only people you can trust, pretty much. Sansa chooses Joffrey over. And still, even after seeing her father, even if they're pleased to have her father saved, and to see Ned, what happens to him, and she still decides to stay with Joffrey. Now, I understand it's for her life's sake, obviously, yes, but it's just Sansa. She just irks me in a way. She just seems like she was not loyal to the Starks at first, and now she's starting to become loyal because she sees what kind of person Joffrey is, which she should have seen the moment he was beating the Butcher's son and fucking with Arya. I mean, that, and she was still telling Arya to get off Joffrey after what he did to the Butcher's boy. I just can't handle it. I can't stomach that at all. I don't know if Sansa's a character I'm supposed to hate, but if I'm not supposed to, it's not working because I just don't like her. She's a character I cannot stand. My next one, I don't know if this will be an unpopular choice or not, but it's Robert Baratheon, the King. And the reason I don't like him is I got a pretty simple reason. He's a stereotypical king. Slob, lazy, disgusting, pig-like, nasty, and just disrespectful. His death, couldn't care less. Didn't really have any feelings towards his death at all. Didn't care. None of the least. I just couldn't care. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about Baratheon. Robert Baratheon. And my last character I have a problem with is Daenerys. Daenerys, it speaks for itself. He's a plain villain. He has no character complex. He has no character complexity. There's nothing complex about this guy. Just a stereotypical villain, just evil to be evil. And that's really all it is. He's a fucked up person. I mean, yes, he was fucked up for telling Khaleesi that he was going to have, Drogo and all of his men plus the horses fuck him just to get back the throne. But I just feel like Daenerys was a very simple villain, just an evil to be evil for the sake of it. And overall, we didn't have no complexity. I really didn't care about him. And when he died, I was so happy when he died. And that was pretty much all I got to say about the characters. Con number 2. Now, for me, this is just reflecting this season, not as a whole series, let me remind you. So, con number 2, the White Walkers. It seemed like at the beginning of the series, at episode 1 in the beginning, the White Walkers were some mysterious ancient tribe of warriors with these blue eyes, and I was really intrigued. And then we get the White Walkers at the Night's Watch. They are pretty much summed up in a way as zombies. Hacks zombies. I say hacks because regular zombies, they bite you, you turn into a zombie, that's it. You can shoot them by killing them, hitting them in the head with anything. These zombies are a little more dangerous, actually a lot more dangerous than regular zombies. These zombies can touch you and you're fucked. One touch, from what I gathered, you get one touch and you turn into one touch on your skin, bare skin, and you get turned into a White Walker. From what I gathered, I might be wrong on that. And you can't kill them with any weapon; you have to burn them. So that's really interesting. They can only be killed with fire. So, but for me, in all honesty, the White Walkers was kind of disappointment for now. From what I'm seeing, they're just zombies pretty much, and I'm quite disappointed in it. Honestly, I really am. 3. This will be also my pros, but I can see the cons for this one as well. Con number 3. Multiple stories. Now, I'm going to say this because I can also see the other side where people get confused with the multiple stories. There's 3 different stories going on. About 3. No, hold on. Is it 3? It's about 3 or so stories. You have one with Jon Snow at the Night's Watch. You have Khaleesi, and you have Ned Stark and Robert. These 3 stories all intertwine together. But, I don't have a problem with it because I was able to keep up with it quite easily. I'm used to keeping up with multiple stories. And the ones I read don't even tie together. They're different stories from different series, but I don't have a problem with it, but I can see where people can, because they can be confused at times, even more so in Season 2. But I can definitely see why people are confused, and I will put that in my con. Some people, that's sometimes 3 stories at the same time are kind of difficult for some people to keep up. So I can definitely see where the multiple stories come along. Personally, they weren't a problem for me, but I do see where people bitch about it, and I will put that in my cons just for the sake of it. And the last one, missed battles. We did miss quite a few battles in this season. I believe it was the one. Was it the one? Yes, it was the one where Carrion was leading those. I can't remember what their names was. They were going against those 2,000 men of Rob Starks, and we just see Carrion get knocked out, and pretty much that he just blacks out and only gets to the end of the battle. I wish we could have seen that battle. Really could. I want to see what some of the guys could do. And there was also other battles we missed, but I'm not going to mention them because I can pretty much, you guys pretty know what I'm talking about. Missed battles is a big thing, so I really want to see some battles, but that was one of the hindrances I did not like about the series. There were some missed battles, but we get to see most of them, so I'm not going to dwell on that part too much, really, but for now, I'll let it go. So that was my cons of Game of Thrones Season 1. Not, like I said, not much really to go with cons, but now that we're done with that, we can finally move on. We can move on to the pros I found in Game of Thrones. So let's go ahead, let's get into that, let's do this. So let's go. The pros of this season, also like I said with the cons, will not reflect the entirety of the series as I see, just for this season in particular. Now, the pros, I have way over more than what I did for the cons. I believe I had almost probably double, if not double, pros than cons. So without further ado, let's get into my cons. My first point, most characters. Most characters here I was fond of. I don't have really a list of the characters from one to greatest, at least I liked. But I can tell you I like most of the characters in this. I believe most of the characters I do like get great character development. My top 5 probably were like, personally for me, my top 5 favorite were Tyrion Lannister. He's an awesome guy. Just him and himself. He's a very smart man. Not battle savvy, but he's just smart. He knows how to trick people, he knows how to deceive people, get his way. And he does have this vibe where he comes off, even though he's a Lannister, he's fighting for the other team because he knows how fucked up his family is. Arya Stark. I think she is also one of my favorite characters because she in herself, she's rebelling against a tradition where a daughter is supposed to marry a prince and have babies for the heirs of the throne. Arya, as said, she says to Ned Stark when he tells her this, what she's going to turn into, she pretty much says, no, that's not me. And she's interested in swordplay. She's a warrior. She's a fighter. And I love that about Arya. She gets great character development, and I'm really liking it. And I could also say she's just an awesome character. Ned Stark. Ned Stark is a good protagonist in this Season 1. A very good protagonist. He has conflicts with his best friend Robert, and the way he just takes up his honor. He is a man of honor, and when he was told to go kill Khaleesi and her child, he refused. Because Robert feared it would be a boy. So, obviously, Ned is a man of honor. I love Ned. Great character development. He has great internal conflict in this season. But overall, I thought Ned was a very solid protagonist. I did like him. The next character I think I like is Khaleesi. Now, Khaleesi, I think out of all of them, probably gets the greatest character development of all of them. Starts off as a shy girl who is getting pretty much sold. I mean, not really sold. Well, it's a deal for Daenerys. Daenerys pretty much trading her off for a kingdom to a man called Khal Drogo and his army of just barbaric warriors. And she goes from being a shy girl who's timid, who's scared of Khal. You can see when they had sex in the beginning, just playing doggy style. I mean, it was real. She was scared of Khal, and then she pretty much gains his confidence to take over the situation during sex, and she ends up falling in love with Khal, whatever you want to call him, and she pretty much assumes her role as queen, and she becomes very forceful. She begins telling Daenerys off, begins being assertive, being a true woman. It's just amazing. She pretty much takes control of her group, and just everything with her she got the greatest character development out of all of the characters that I mentioned. And I believe in this season it was all about Khaleesi. As much as Ned Stark was a great protagonist, this season was about the development and the adventure of Khaleesi. It was very prominent in my eyes, and I thought Khaleesi was a very good character, very good. And that's pretty much all the characters. I know I didn't name 5, but that's the ones I wanted to mention that I did love among the rest. Number 2, the pros. Acting. The acting was phenomenal, spectacular. I mean, there are a couple coincidences that they did. You could tell they kind of fucked up, but they were very small. And even though they messed up, they just went along with it because that makes the characters seem more human. And that's really a plus for me. I thought that was very well done. They handled their mistakes, if they were mistakes, properly, and it just made the characters look more human, and I did enjoy it. The acting was phenomenal. Amazing. Pro number 3, the multiple stories all related to one another. I've already mentioned this in the cons, and I will mention it in the pros. I enjoyed the multiple stories, how they're all related to one another, how they all tie together, and just overall the stories and themselves were good. I did find Jon Snow in the Knights of the Watch was the most, like, I did feel that Jon Snow in the Knights of the Watch was the weakest out of the 3 stories, but that's just me. Overall, they're still good stories. So, the multiple stories was a plus for me, so I just had that in there. Pro number 4, there was never a dull episode. Not one episode was I bored, wanting to go to sleep watching it, just all around. Always had my attention, always caught my eye, and just overall, very good shit all the time. Sure, there were dull moments. Yes, that was prominent, but the episodes overall, even with dull moments, they were still phenomenal. The gray overcame the dull by immense numbers. Point number 5, great visuals. The visuals in Season 1 were great. Very good visuals. The scenery was beautiful. The fights were amazing, and everything. The choreography was just well done in the fights. And overall, just great visuals overall, and I could ask for better, and I did get better in Season 2, which, it's coming up. But the visuals overall, great. Point number 6, good CGI. CGI, at the end, it's pretty much used almost near the end at the ending with Khaleesi. And the CGI, not bad. It wasn't bad at all. I'm not going to say it was great CGI, but overall the CGI was good. It was very well handled, very well done, and I will give the CGI credit. It was good. Not bad, not great, good. Pro number 7, character development. I already mentioned this on those characters. I don't have to dwell on it too much, but the character development for the people that did get it, very well handled, and just overall was great storytelling and great to see the characterization of each character that we got. And my last point for the pros was the ending of the season. Now, let me just go on to say the ending of the season, phenomenal. Ned Stark's execution, along with just the surprise of his head being on a stake caused by Joffrey, and the end with Khaleesi with the dragons. Now, I was going to put the dragons in a con because it was stated at the beginning that the eggs of the dragons were turning to stone, they'll never hatch. But I did give leeway because it does seem that fire, if you put them in fire, they can pretty much hatch. So that was the epic moment at the end of the season where she's standing there, clothes burn off, not harmed by the fire at all, and her people kneeling down at their feet. Beautiful. Well done. That ending was amazing. Great ending. Great taste in your mouth at the end of the season. Made you really want it more, which it did me. And that was pretty much all of my pros, I could say, for this. So I'm pretty much done with the pros, so there we go. So that's pretty much my thoughts, my pros and cons on Game of Thrones Season 1. Now, I took all of this into consideration, thought about it for a while, and I can honestly say my overall thoughts on the whole season in entirety. I thought it was very entertaining, great storytelling, and great characters. Now, when it comes down to the rating of this, I will go with, well, let me just do it like this. I take the pros and I'll take the cons. And I'll subtract the bigger number from the little one. And then when I come to that, I'll take that out of 5. So, or anywhere relevant to that scenario. So, I had 8 pros and 4 cons. And that's why I get a 4. So, 4 out of 5. So, pretty much what I'm rating Game of Thrones Season 1. Now, Game of Thrones Season 1, I will give it a rating of a great. I'll give it a great rating, and that's it. I'm pretty much done. That was my review of Season 1 of Game of Thrones, and now we'll start off my next Game of Thrones video. Hey, what up? Hey. Yes, Game of Thrones Season 2, the complete second series. I'm pumped. I've already watched 4 episodes, so I can do my video whenever I can. Hopefully tomorrow if the chapters aren't out. So I hope you all enjoyed my review of Season 1 of Game of Thrones. And hopefully I can continue on with this and do my Season 2 review. That is after a Season 2 Thoughts video. So, hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to rate the video. What the fuck is that? Make sure to comment down below what you guys think. Rate the video, subscribe. One clicking button, 1 second at a time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a nice fucking day.